Sorry.
Call the meeting to order. And
Okay. Daigle,
here,
Grousman,
here,
Hamilton,
here,
Hartley,
Here.
Hogsett,
Here.
Lilly, Smalley,
Here.
Sumner,
Here.
Whitaker,
here,
Woods,
Here.
Benowait,
Here.
Connor.
here.
All present.
Introduction to media. Do we have any media? Public comment. Purpose of a public comment period is to allow citizens to present information or raise issues regarding the agenda items only. A time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. All citizens must come up to the microphone. Do you have any public comment? Okay. We've already appointed the same people from the urban renewal budget to the city budget. We already made that decision. And so
We just need a motion to
For-
appoint those same people.
Yeah, for the record.
For the record.
for the record, we need a motion that the people that were appointed to urban renewal, chairman, co-chairman, and its secretary
And signing authority.
and signing authority. We appointed us the same positions on the city.
Budget.
I gotta get more sleep. No, I'm calling for a motion.
To make a motion to approve whoever was approved for the urban renewal. For the chair, co-chair, signing authority and secretary to do the same for the city budget.
Okay, yeah, that was.
second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. That the same people from the urban renewal committee will take the same positions on the city budget committee. Call for vote.
Daigle,
Aye.
Grousman,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Hartley, Hogsett,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Smalley,
Aye.
Sumner,
Aye.
Whitaker,
Aye.
Woods,
Aye.
Benowait,
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Motion carries.
City manager.
When I put together this budget message, again, it's required that it be there, and you have to listen to me. Sorry, but Tammy, our incredible finance director, I asked her, I says, what do you think? She goes, well, it's a little dark, don't you think? And previous years, this is my 12th year with the city. It's always been positive. Things have been on an upward climb, but we have challenges ahead. Not that we can't respond and adapt, but it does require vigilance on our part to just pay attention a little more closely than we normally would, not take certain things for granted. I want to read a budget message from Martha Bennett. She's a longtime friend. She's a city manager of Lake Oswego, and before that, she was the executive director of Metro, a large Portland land use, district, and pretty big thing. But her father was my first mentor when I started in NISA. But she says exactly kind of like what I wanted to say. But I wanted to give her credit for giving me the insight. So this is what she says. The city has seen cost increases for labor, goods, and services and capital projects because of inflationary pressures. However, at present, those costs are manageable, largely due to strong fiscal practices. That's really kind of the same thing. The point is, I had previous council members really worried about where are we going to go financially? How can we pay for this? And how can we pay for that? And we could with confidence say, well, that's okay. We have a strong budget. We do, but that doesn't mean it'll stay that way. And I just think it's important that you know that we know it and we're going to pay attention. And I appreciate your input. But she closes, if inflation stays at the levels they are, we're not going to be okay. We're going to have some discussions about increasing revenue or reducing services. And same applies with us. At some point, we may have to. We're going into executive session this evening to talk about a union agreement that we settled. That is fair. It does allow for labor increases, simply because under the good faith bargaining, we must recognize that element in our labor pool. Two other things I want to mention. One of the tactics we took going forward was that it's becoming ever more important that we keep the employees we have, because the employees coming up aren't even remotely qualified. And so it used to be, and I told the union this in negotiations, used to be in 20 years, we looked forward for your retirement because there were 10 other people in line come in that were less expensive. And that's just not the way it is today. So we want to build in systems that are innovative, creative, that will keep our employees longer than we had ever anticipated. So that's important. And the last thing I'll let you know, I'm not going to be here in the hospital with my wife, who's having a significantly important surgery at OHSU for 10 days. We just hope she makes it through and everything will be good. But Tammy and Brian's going to actually fill in as a city manager. He's a short timer. He doesn't have anything to do anymore anyway, so he can fill in my shoes. And Tammy, I just got to take a moment and tell you all, for those of you who weren't here, we had Ron Harker when I first got here, and after about 4 years, he was stolen from us by the city of Rosewood. So we had nobody really. His name is Dan Wilson. He's not a nobody, but he wasn't known to us. He came down from Portland, and he filled in for about 5 years, and did both. Were wonderful. But we hired Tammy just before the budget needed to be put together, and being the CFO of her own family-owned business, she brought a lot of experience, especially in the private sector. And she has taken this and run with it. I mean, her very first year, I remember we did it at a family church, and she had this little, you know, if you go to church, the new ministers wear this little, you know, fiber optic thing, and they walk around and teach and preach. And that's what she was doing, walking around teaching and preaching the very, very first in less than 3 months on the job. And it's just been remarkable. So this is your fourth budget or third?
This is the third.
It's your third budget. And so you're not going to be in better hands. And I think you all, the only other thing I'll say for those of you that are new to coming in here, the things that we pay attention in the budget are mostly related to the general fund. Most of the other sources of funds come from enterprise funds, which are like business entities in and of themselves. And so if they don't use it, they don't spend for it. If they don't spend for it, they don't have the expense. So that tends to be a good trade-off. But in the general fund, the only thing we have available to us are property taxes. We met with a company last week who wants to build a little subdivision, and my reply to them, the more the merrier. We get $2,000 a year on property taxes from every home. So, and that helps us pay our bills. But, you know, you only get that 3% increment. And when inflation is up 7.5%, you can see that we're operating at a net monthly loss on an ongoing basis. Luckily, like I said, we have enough ending cash. Ending cash is what which then becomes your beginning cash going into your next budget. That's really pivotal that we maintain that to support city operations from July to November when revenues come in. And so we need to have those operating revenues in there. If not, we're having to borrow from other funds before we can reimburse ourselves when our tax revenues show up. So pay attention to that. That's what we pay attention to. And shoot, I got 5 more minutes. You want me to sing or what? I'll answer any questions you might have. All right, thank you all very much.
I would just like to encourage members of the budget committee, if you have any questions, please reach out, send me an email, call me. And then I can have a better prepared answer. I'd like to have answers for all of the questions that you bring up next week. So if you get them to me early, that helps me get that taken care of.
Okay. Thank you very much. The last item on the agenda is the same as it was for the last committee meeting. It's a call for a motion to continue the meeting, this meeting, May 16th,
15.
15th. May 15th, 2022 City Auditorium. It's 30. The meeting will start at 6:30, but they told us that we need to be by 6.
Yes.
I'm sure make a motion on the continuance of the budget meeting till May 15th at 6:30. It's o'clock if you want it.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we meet again on May 15th at Civic Auditorium at early 6 o'clock and latest at 6.
Daigle,
Aye.
Grousman,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Hartley,
Aye.
Hogsett,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Smalley,
Aye.
Sumner,
Aye.
Whitaker,
Aye.
Woods,
Aye.
Benaway, Connor,
Aye.
motion carries.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you all.
Adjourned.
Hey, Joe, do you have any extra medications that Larry